Recently, a wealthy globe Earth proponent named Will Duffy launched a campaign dubbed The Final Experiment.
Well, so many of you have been telling me all about the final experiment, and by many I mean at least two. So here we are, and of course who better to introduce us to anything related to the flat earth than the world's smartest idiot, Eric Dubay, and his version of factual, which is to say, saying things in as smug and condescending a tone as humanly possible without any of those pesky facts. Take it away, Captain Dipshit.
Which he claims will finally settle the globe versus flat earth debate forever.
So, we're going to start by refuting basically everyone who thinks that the final experiment will do, well, frankly, fucking anything. No, it won't. Of course it won't. We have had thousands of years of experimental science to support our understanding for the shape of the Earth. We have dozens of ways you can calculate the shape of the planet for years that have been available to us. There is no good excuse to be a flat earther apart from a desperate need to think that you know something other people don't. Flat earthers gonna flat earth, and so they are going to continue being wrong. And even if a handful change their mind, the rest are either going to pretend the thing didn't happen or that actually this observation, like all observations, fits into the flat earth because they say so.
The results of this experiment are allegedly so conclusive that once conducted and completed, all flat earthers will be forced to concede and admit defeat.
Yeah, seriously. Anyone expecting that, I admire your optimism, but that will never happen. What will do, more than likely, is prove that some flat earthers can even be shown something right to their fucking faces and outright deny it. So that'll be, fun.
So what is Will's brilliant idea? What is his ingenious experiment to finally silence all globe skepticism?
Well, I don't know about his, but I'll tell you mine. First, I'll get really, really drunk, and then I'll forget what I'm doing, and then I'll wander off and fight a bear. Sure, it won't actually prove shit, but at least I'll either be dead, or I'll have a fancy new rug that I fucking earned. None of this shooting animals on safari shit. No, I respect any hunter that can take down like a tiger with their bare hands, which you'll already have from killing the bear, because reality would be so much better if it worked like a video game, where dead things are full of loot instead of all the blood and guts they normally have inside them. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to craft out of this shit?
Invite 12 Flat Earth YouTubers and 12 Globe Earth YouTubers to Antarctica in December.
Well, it's already failed right there, hasn't it? Since I haven't been invited. I mean, who's gonna eat all the other Who-Man so none of them can come back and we chalk it all up to mysterious circumstances? No, I don't know why there's blood and or lung on my chin. Probably dropped there by a penguin flying overhead, or a polar bear flying overhead, or whatever the fuck lives down there, allegedly.
To see if there's a midnight sun.
Midnight sun, won't you come and wash away the floods? Midnight sun, won't you come all over my tits? Sorry, lost my train of thoughts. Cool though, seeing a midnight sun would definitely be interesting. But again, these fuckers take facts about reality and do one of two things. They either say, no, totally, it's our thing and it's fine and we expected it to be like that, even though it doesn't make any sense. Or they say that it didn't happen and it's a lie. And I'm just sure they won't believe the shit that science-defending YouTubers say. And frankly, what's a sacrificial lamb or 12 to the altar of flurfism?
In other words, the final experiment is not an experiment, and not even a demonstration, but merely an observation.
My God, you got 'em. I mean, how could they name a thing in a pithy way to get people interested in it? Damn, that's debunked it permanently. I mean, it hasn't. It's still a thing that any semi-coherent flat earth model makes no fucking sense with. And yes, semi is doing a lot of the heavy lifting and is a term for a partially erect penis. So is awesome. But frankly, the real experiment is thusly, in my eye at least. How many flat earthers will even accept that? It demonstrates something they can't explain. I mean, my bet is going to be 0, but I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I mean, on this whole thing, maybe. Perhaps he's right, and the flat earthers will just vanish into the wind. That'll be amazing. I just really fucking doubt it. Mostly because of another observation. Everything that flurfs have ever done ever.
In typical Globe Defender strawman fashion, Will is conflating a celestial observation with our terrestrial foundation.
Okay, first of all, what? Where's the fucking straw man? He said, come look at this thing. I think it proves the flat earth wrong. What is he straw manning? You don't just get to throw out that word and then win. I know that's what happens to you a lot, but that's because you constantly actually straw man people's arguments. But the midnight sun in Antarctica is something many flat earthers think is impossible, including, I'm betting, fucking you. So it being demonstrated will be something you thought didn't happen, but it does and is perfectly expected on a globe. Dumbass.
He's claiming that the motion of a light in the sky overhead somehow gives proof of the shape of the ground underfoot.
I don't know what he's specifically claiming. I don't know the guy. I haven't even looked into the whole thing, frankly, but I assume that what he's doing is demonstrating something that could only happen if the Earth is not a flat plane. Not strictly that he's demonstrating the shape of the Earth, only that something is clearly wrong in your assumptions.
In reality, the existence of a midnight sun in Antarctica no more proves the globe than the non-existence of a midnight sun in Antarctica proves the flat Earth.
Wow, how can someone be so wrong and so right in the same sentence? No, it doesn't prove those things, but the opposite of each would be extremely weird. If there was no midnight sun, that absolutely wouldn't prove the flat Earth, because it's not, but also because the Earth could be any shape with no midnight sun, as long as other things aren't at play. But the non-existence of an Antarctica midnight sun would be extremely sus on a globe that does have, and Flurfs are completely on board with this, having a midnight sun in the Arctic, because of the way the Earth moves and the shape we know it to be. If it wasn't there, it would be, again, fucking weird.
It's tantamount to inviting a contractor to measure the dimensions of your floor space, and instead of taking measurements of the floor, he climbs a ladder and starts measuring the recessed lighting in the ceiling.
You seem to have completely misunderstood what is happening with fucking anything here. No one is trying to measure the shape of the planet, but they are saying that a certain worldview doesn't work if it's there, because unless you have some genius explanation of how it does, which you don't, by the way, even if you have an explanation, there's no fucking way it's clever, then it's inexplicable to you and makes perfect sense to us. The analogy would be that I said we were inside a building, and you said, nuh-uh, look at the floor. See, it's ground, therefore we must be outside. And I point at the fucking ceiling. And you then, of course, say, the existence of a ceiling doesn't prove that this ground isn't outside. And then everyone dies from a fucking aneurysm. Except for you, because you need a brain to do that.
Then, after doing some calculations and extrapolations based on his ceiling lighting measurements, he tells you definitively that your floor is curved.
It's hilarious that you so quickly jump to calling everything the people who understand and accept the shape of the Earth as straw men, and then immediately, completely and utterly straw man what this kind of observation would be even trying to demonstrate. Even I'm not that much of a hypocrite, and I'm the only one who's allowed to be a hypocrite.
The only reason this straw man argument even has any legs to stand on.
What, you're one? It doesn't, because you don't know what's happening, and you prove it with every sound your idiot face makes. And there isn't a straw man from his side, because what do you even think that term means? I'm assuming straw man to you is anything that proves flat Earth might not be true, that's a straw man, and anything that you think supports your nonsense isn't a straw man. But go ahead, steel man this shit without immediately sounding like a tool.
Are because a couple suspicious, shilly, so-called flat earthers who I have repeatedly called out as disinformation agents, like Jaren from Jarenism, have claimed that they believe a midnight sun in Antarctica somehow does prove the globe.
Jesus Christ, of course. Of course it's not that he could explain how this argument might make sense. God forbid he ever actually be able to steelman something. No, there are no steelmens for the glob, only shills and straw boys. Could you actually manage to sound more like a parody of a thinking person if you actually tried to? But no, every flat earther that disagrees with me is a liar and disinformation agent because I am the world's smartest dumbass.
In a recent interview with Will Duffy, Jaron explicitly stated that if there is a midnight sun in Antarctica, then that is evidence for the globe, and a big problem for flat Earth.
God fucking damn it, how could you? How dare you do this to me? You are forcing me to give Jaronism, the fucking moron who said that no one has ever been to the moon, among many, many other stupid things. Because, of course, you can't be a flat earther without being a different kind of idiot as well. You are making me give him props for saying something relatively fair and reasonable. You utter bastard. And the thing is, it's not like he said it debunked the flat earth. He just said that it's a problem. And there could be evidence for things. And that thing not actually be true. But for you, no, there am zero evidence for glob because me don't understand how science do. Only flat earth am facts. With the utter confidence that only a cretin will ever be able to have about anything.
In reality, this is not a problem for flat Earth at all, nor is it evidence of a globe.
It is and it is. Look, even if you think it's bad evidence, it would still be evidence for a globe. Any person who understands how these things actually work will be happy to say there is evidence for some counter thing. The difference is, I know that the evidence that you have is bad evidence for a flat Earth, and more often than not is good evidence towards a globe, especially when you combine them together. The reason you can't do that the other way is because if you start admitting that there is evidence for the globe, you will have to start understanding it. And that's something you either can't do or more likely refuse to do because you don't want to know the shape of the Earth. You simply want to be a flat earther because you decided. End of discussion.
The only reason flat earthers have claimed a midnight sun likely doesn't exist in Antarctica is because of how many clearly fake videos have been made claiming to show a 24-hour sun in the south.
See, you think it's fake, because why say these videos are fake when, why would anyone fake them? It's just a thing that happens. But if it's a problem for the flat Earth, well, suddenly they become suspect. You can't help but reveal your hand, even when you think you're being clever with your vagueness. But that's mostly because you aren't fucking clever. Quite the opposite, in fact.
It's difficult to find any clearly legitimate videos of the midnight sun in Antarctica.
I mean, yeah, when you have decided that all of something is fake, then all of it is fake. It's like you lot with space videos. All of them are always fake, and anything that you see that might even hint at a problem, you know, like visual artifacts, etc., that is a glaring and obvious fact of proving its fakeness. But if you think something supports you, those are fine, even if they are barely visible and usually blurry as fuck nonsense. Like how stars aren't real because you lot don't know how fucking cameras work.
Whereas, in the Arctic, there are countless, clearly genuine videos of the phenomenon.
Again, see, if support real, if no, must be fake. And again, why are you pretending that there aren't, or they are all fake, or whatever, if this isn't a problem for you? It clearly is, but of course, you are trying to make your followers think that everything is fine, remain calm, nothing's gonna challenge your beliefs ever. Remember, there is no evidence for anything other than the facts you already believe, because that's how science works.
Whether or not there is an Antarctic midnight sun, still water is always level.
Still water? Then why are you using a picture of the fucking ocean? That shit is the moviest pile of crap that ever didn't exist. In fact, I'm not sure it's even possible for the ocean to be perfectly still. Not like a lake or some other small body of water can be. But then again, those don't always have horizons that you can pretend are flat, therefore flat Earth.
The horizon is always flat, and there is never any measurable curvature.
Apart from when there is, and when things aren't always flat. I mean, for fuck's sake. Have you ever actually measured something? Other than your penis, obviously from asshole to tip, an impressive 4 inches. Or by drawing a straight line with photo editing tools on other people's pictures. Hint, that's not a fucking measurement. That's a line you drew. It means less than nothing. Why don't you buy some actually calibrated and sensitive equipment to make your measurements? Oh, right, of course, because they will immediately prove you wrong. Well, assuming you could operate the thing without accidentally fucking decapitating yourself.
The Earth remains a level plane, regardless of any solar observations.
There is no distinction between Terra or Earthen or whatever the fuck you want to call it observations and solar observations when it comes to what that says about the universe we currently inhabit. Observations we make on Earth will often apply to space. Observations we have made about the cosmos absolutely apply here to greater or lesser degrees. The fact that you are trying to separate them proves that you are either trying to hide that fact or you are too stupid to understand it. Neither is a good look for someone who proclaims to be the arbiter of true facts and evidence, although acting like you are that is a problem in and of itself, so, you know.
The motion of a light in the sky overhead cannot possibly prove the shape of the ground underfoot.
It's less about proving anything and more about demonstrating that certain things are extremely unlikely to be true. Let's take something that neither of us think. But if someone thought that the Earth, enveloped the sun and it was inside, hanging about, in the middle, well, if the sun moved even remotely, like the way it, does, that would show that it's not statically sitting there. Days and nights would demonstrate it to be absolute nonsense. Well, same thing applies. With the addition of the midnight sun behaving in a mirrored fashion at the North Pole, there's no way to explain that on any flat Earth model that I've ever seen without some completely insane assumptions about how reality works that do not reflect reality.
Besides, there are geocentric flat Earth models like that presented by Lady Blunt and Albert Smith in their book Zetetic Astronomy, which fully account for an Antarctic midnight sun. In their model, the sun follows a northern and southern circuit in such a manner as to allow for a midnight sun phenomenon in both the Arctic and Antarctic.
Oh shit, hedging your bets are you, Rick? And okay, let's look at this and yep, I thought so. It's fucking gibberish, of course. And it doesn't even remotely explain how a midnight sun could work in Antarctica. It just says that there is one, over and over again. And the explanation is just, as he showed, nonsense about some giant figure eight that in no way reflects any reality, flat or otherwise. No observation fits with this absolute claptrap. And anyone who thinks it does knows literally nothing about how the sun moves in the sky, let alone the shape of fucking anything. Christ.
Others have speculated that reflections or projections off a dome firmament could produce a midnight sun effect in the Antarctic. And others still have speculated about a sun simulator technology which can effectively create a second sun.
So, unprovable pseudo-scientific nonsense after unprovable pseudo-scientific nonsense that have not even remotely been demonstrated are the closest you can get to an explanation. Fan-fucking-tastic. And, the funniest thing is that you have said yourself that you don't even think anyone can go to Antarctica. Weird that you haven't brought it up here. So surely they wouldn't even need to witness a midnight sun. The fact that they even got there would, what was it that you said? Oh right, shut you up forever. It's like I said, these guys will never actually care that you could refute anything that they say and demonstrate every claim that they have to be false and show them how this shit actually works. And they will still wander off and say, God, I can't believe how much the Earth is definitely 110% flat. Idiots.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the